All right. Hope everyone's weekend is going well. I'm putting out this short video. I'll put out a longer video tomorrow after I get home and able to edit it for, my usual drive stuff. But just let you guys, inform you guys what happened to me last night. Just kind of more of a public service announcement and, keep your head on a swivel, that sort of thing. Now, for you that don't know and don't know my history, I was a sheriff's deputy for almost 20 years and went through everything there was to be a sheriff's deputy. I worked in the jail for a while, moved up through the ranks. I was a patrolman, patrol sergeant, CID. Then I was jail operations commander. Then I was the operations commander major. Then at one point I was the chief deputy of what's the third largest county in the state of Arkansas. But that's my history. So I say that to preface the story because I'm usually not easily startled or easily freaked out just due to my experiences. But I was freaked out last night and kept my wits about me and all that stuff. But I'm going to tell you the story that happened. Now, you that don't know, here in a moment, I clipped off a video so you can see exactly where I was at. Some of you, when I talk about this, you're going to know exactly where I'm talking about anyway. But on Interstate 40, near Henrietta, westbound at mile marker 251, there's a rest area. But it's not a real rest area. It's a rest area that you just kind of pull in. It's got about a quarter-mile drive. You can drive around. There's pull-off areas. Trucks go in there and sleep sometimes and that sort of thing. And I'll pull in there for various times. They got trash bins and, use the facilities that aren't there. You know what I mean? But anyway, pulling there last night. It was a Friday night. It's 8:30, 9 o'clock at night. There weren't any trucks in there, which is not really, I guess, unusual for a Friday night. But as I was pulling through there, didn't notice any vehicles either. And you'll see on the video that I made to talk about, to kind of place how this was. I pulled all the way around and I was just about to where you exit the rest area. And I already had my bag of trash bagged up, sitting next to me, tied in knot, So I pulled my air brakes, grabbed my trash bag, opened my door, and about 10 feet from my door, there was a dude dressed all in dark walking up to me. So I immediately shut my door and grabbed my item that someone could use to defend themselves. And he saw me grab it, and he backed up, and I rolled down my window, and I'm like, "What are you doing, dude?" And he goes, "Oh, I didn't mean to startle you. My car broke down, and I just need to ride to the next exit." And the peculiar thing about this is, and let me say this, there's stuff that makes sense, stuff doesn't make sense. Someone saying that they're hitching a ride because their car broke down this day and age, do you not have a cell phone? Why are you waiting on somebody? The other thing is, I want you to remember this too, and you're going to notice this when I'm driving up in the video I made this so you can see what I'm talking about. My lights were on. I had full view of everything in front of me. There was nobody standing in the road, no one waving, saying like, "Yo, I need some help," like that. I stopped my truck, and within 3 seconds, I cracked my door, and this guy's walking up to my door. My opinion, it scared the total shit out of me. But I kept my wits about me, shut my door, armed myself. He saw I armed myself. He backed off. I informed him, "You're not getting in my blankety blank truck, and you need to blankety blank get away from me," which he did. And So I didn't even get out of my truck. I just, I left and I called the highway patrol, let them know what they saw. They said they're going to send some troopers. A few miles down the road, I seen 2 troopers going that direction. So I assumed that's where they were going. Now I'll say this, and it's very possible that this could have been something innocent, and maybe because I wasn't notating or looking for a car or whatever, maybe I just didn't notice. But I don't remember seeing a car. And what I for sure didn't see as I'm driving up to that parking spot, anybody trying to wave me down to say, because you think if you're broke down and you need some help, you're gonna, and you're in the dark, you're gonna sit there and wave somebody down and say, hey, here I am, notice me, not be walking up on somebody as they're opening their door. And having said all that, I'm confident in my ability to handle situations. But then again, if I'd have waited 2 more seconds to open my door, would I have opened my door and him been at my door and maybe something happened because I'm in a more vulnerable position at that point? I don't know. Lucky, whatever. I kept my wits about me. Nothing happened. And having said that, nothing might have happened anyway. Maybe this guy's car really was broke down. But you're a fucking moron if you're walking up on somebody in dark clothes in the dark and not trying to alert yourself to them. And anyway, that's what happened. So I'm going to stop this video right now, let you watch the little video, so if you guys that don't know what I'm talking about can know what I'm talking about, okay? And then we'll cut back to me again. Okay, hopefully you can hear me, but this is the rest area we're talking about. It's right at the 251. So last night when I was coming through here, it was about an hour and a half later than what it is right now. It's pretty well lit right now. But we just passed the trash bin I was talking about. But that's what this drive is. Comes back here, goes around here about a quarter mile. It comes back out. Okay, I don't think you have to see all this, but you get the gist of it. And I'll record the rest as we're going up here. Okay, now this is same view I had yesterday, except yesterday not a single vehicle in here, no truck, no nothing. And I'm pulling up to the trash bin right here. I parked just in front of it, just down the road from the trash away, and right here's where I stopped. So once I stopped, I literally reached down, grabbed my trash, opened my door, and dude is standing right there. Okay, so that's it. That's what happened. Now, it scared the shit out of me. I was freaking out, and I was also thinking, man, what if this was, if the guy meant to do somebody harm? What if this was some traveler that don't know shit about shit and just, pull back there to stretch their legs real quick or whatever, and not been somebody else? And was this guy meaning to do harm? I don't know. But I want to know what you think, because I talked to 4 or 5 of my buddies that were cops or that are still cops and asked them what they thought about it, and said, am I overreacting on this? Because I think the guy was up to no good. And just so you know, the guy was in his mid-30s. He was about 5'10", 190 pounds-ish, brown hair, unshaven face, not really a beard, just an unshaven face. But he wasn't disheveled. He had like decent clothes on, but they were all dark clothes, dark pants, dark long sleeve shirt, like this little puffer vest looking thing. When I first opened the door, I thought for a second like he had a tactical vest on like a cop, because it says open door. I was like, is that a cop? And then I go, okay, that's not a cop. What's going on here, right? But anyway, dressed all in the dark, walking up, sneaking up on somebody in the dark. Maybe he didn't mean to sneak up, but he sure the hell wasn't trying to, alert anybody to, hey, I'm here, because that would be the smart thing to do, right? That would be prudent to do, be polite to do, not to scare the shit out of somebody if you didn't mean to do it. My personal opinion, the guy was up to no good, and it didn't work out for him. So, what's your opinion? Also, I'd like to know, have you guys gotten situations like this at rest areas, truck stops, whatever? I've been approached by people at truck stops and stuff, and generally just, go away. Need a few dollars, need some company, honey. That shit happens, I understand. But this was different. This was very different to me. And so you guys that are going that direction, there's another rest area on the eastbound side in Henrietta that is kind of a similar thing. And I've pulled in there before and seen some shady shit going on. So I try to avoid those pretty much all the time. And, if anybody from the Oklahoma Highway Patrol, or I guess that would be the Mulligan County Sheriff's Office, ever sees this video, you guys might want to patrol through there every now and then, and you might do it already. I don't know, but it'd probably be a good place to make your presence known. But anyway, again, if you guys could interject, anything like this ever happened to you? Have you ever been assaulted at a rest area, been robbed, been whatever? Because I had a feeling this guy wanted to do something, and I didn't see a weapon on him, but it was dark. His hands were definitely empty when he walked up to me. If he had something in his belt or behind him or whatever, I don't know. But that's what happened, and I'd like to know if anything happened to you. Or if you think I'm overreacting, let me know. I'm not going to be offended by anything you say. But like I said, I was a cop for over 20 years, or almost 20 years, and I trust my instincts. And my instincts, this guy was up to no good. What do you think? All right. Next video will be just me doing driving shit. All right. You guys take it easy. Peace.